Welcome to the Jill on Money Show. It is Tuesday, July 1st, one half of the year over. I cannot believe it, but here we are. And in the second half of the year, what will you be doing that is different? How will you be navigating what comes up next? Have you gone back to your original year ahead plan? Did you ever make a plan? If you didn't, now's a good time. Did you rebalance your portfolio, your retirement accounts? Some people do that twice a year, mid-year and end of year. If it is a retirement account, no problem doing it a couple times a year. If it's an investment account, be careful. You might be asking Uncle Sam for a little tax, so just be careful with that. And if you need some assistance, then we can help you. All you need to do is go to jillonmoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note. And in that note, give us some details. And if you'd like to join us on the show live, check the box. Mark will do everything else. Hey, while you're on the website, I would love for you to subscribe to the Jill on Money service, which is our little paywall. That's where you have access to quarterly live webinars, entire back catalog of those webinars, bonus audio, video content, all for $45 for the next 12 months. Hey, Mark, big update on my mother's car situation. So just so everybody knows, if you're going to subscribe to Jill on Money Live, the most recent webinar we did was with Mike Quincy from Consumer Reports. He's like the car guy. So from that actual episode, I gave him like a theoretical, hey, here's what's happening. My mother's car is coming off lease. What should we do? I totally took his advice, Mark. He was very clear that you really don't necessarily need to buy an extended warranty depending on the car. So I saved my mom $3,000 by not taking that extended warranty. How about that? Okay, by the way, when I called the guy up who was like from the lease, the financing company, he's like, oh yeah, I told your mom she should definitely buy this car because it's a preordained price in a lease contract. And so from 3 years ago, she has in 3 years, 13,500 miles. So we're feeling pretty good about it. So that's it. You can get that kind of awesome, actionable advice if you are part of Jill on Money Live. Okay, right now, let's go and talk to one of our wonderful listeners. It is Joe, who joins us from Iowa. And all I can do is get that song in my head. It goes, you really ought to give Iowa a try. Okay, Joe, you're up.
Hey, Jill.
What's going on?
Good. Not much. It's hot here in the Midwest, that's for sure.
Yeah, sorry. Same here on the East. But you guys are tougher than we are, so we'll complain more about it. So what can we do for you?
Well, I have a question for my wife and I. We are in the process of getting ready to build a new home.
Oh, exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting. And, now we're in the design phase and planning everything out. We're probably going to break ground next spring. We're trying to make sure that we aren't overextending ourselves in terms of building too much house, given our incomes, retirements, different stages of life, et cetera.
Mm-hmm. So, Joe, let's talk about the stage of life. How old are you guys?
So I'm 57. Well, I'll be 57 in the fall, and she'll be 52 in the winter.
Okay.
In December.
You guys have kids?
Yes, 2 children, 22 and 18.
What stage of adulthood are they in?
So the 22-year-old is going to be a senior in college, and the 18-year-old is going to be a senior in high school. That's kind of why we're waiting until next year and let him graduate from high school. We'll probably move in sometime between July and September, depending on construction.
Boy, you're ambitious. I just want to say that. Wait, let me just hear that again. You're breaking ground in the spring, and you think you'll be in within 6 months?
No, not realistically.
Okay.
I'm optimistic, Jill. I'm always,
all right. I'm going to just say, let's just pretend it takes a year. Let's just, for the heck of it. So spring of 2027, let's pretend that that's where you get in. Let's set our sights, something achievable very easily. And if you beat it, fantastic. Joe, are you guys both working?
So I'm working and retired. So I'm a retired school teacher. I retired last year. And now I'm working as a realtor. So
how's that going?
It's been a good year. I've really enjoyed it. It's a very different kind of profession than being in education for so long. And it's a little stressful in the sense that my only income comes when I
You
buy
sell.
and sell houses.
Yeah. But all that training, I don't know, what did you teach? What grade?
So I was a ninth and 10th grade social studies teacher for 33 years.
Okay. So what I think is that the amount of patience that you had to accumulate to teach ninth and 10th graders is useful in the real estate market, because people are children when it comes to these big transactions. They regress, right? So thank God you have that.
Exactly.
So do you have a pension?
So I do. I have a pension that I get from the state right now.
Mm-hmm. How much?
And then my wife is still actively teaching.
Okay. What is the pension amount?
Pension is like $4,400 a month.
Okay. And how much does your wife earn as a teacher?
She makes about $5,000-ish a month.
And she will also be entitled to a pension eventually.
In 4 years, she'll be able to collect her pension.
Okay. Do you think that's what she wants to do?
Yes and no. She just started recently talking about 4 or 5 years or 6 years. So,
okay.
But
she'll get something. So you'll have but you guys will have some consistent income.
Yes.
Okay. What did you earn as a realtor for your first big year?
Well, so I've been doing it for 5 years, part-time, full-time in the last year. And by the time I get everything done, it'll be right around $100,000.
Oh my goodness. That's fantastic. I never thought that you were going to say that number. That's great.
Yeah. My goal was to try to make 30 or 40. And so it's been a good year.
Whew, fantastic. Okay. So both of you have the pension plans. Did you also put money away into some sort of deferred compensation plan in addition to the pension?
So we have about 1.1 million in Roth IRA.
Oh.
And we have about 500 and right at 500,000, 505,000 in 403Bs.
How'd you get so much money in the Roth IRA? Did you convert some?
Nope. We started maxing out our Roth IRA contributions in 1990, whatever, when the Roth IRA came out.
When good old Senator Roth from Delaware said, hey, let's do this thing. Oh, my God, that's great.
Yeah.
So those are the two big accounts. Do you have any brokerage accounts or anything else that's floating around?
Have a small brokerage account. It's probably about 60,000 in a brokerage account, and then another probably 40 to 50,000 in high yield savings.
Great. That's great. How are you getting these two kids through school? The one who's becoming a senior in college, is that paid for with funds? Is that loans? What's going on?
So we've got 529s for both boys. The oldest one, who's a senior in college, has about $5,000 or $6,000 more in his account than it will take to cover his senior year.
Okay.
And then the senior in high school has about $100,000 in his account to cover college.
Is that about the right amount in terms of where they're going to go? Okay. So we don't have to
school here in Iowa.
Okay, great. That's wonderful. Anything else that I need to know before we go into the economics of building the new home?
Other than we're debt free, no.
Oh, that's good. Okay. So let's talk about the existing home that you're in right now. How much is that worth?
I'd say, as a realtor, I always say it's worth more than it probably is. But
all right, scale back, mister.
Conservative, I would say probably about $450,000.
The plan is what? Sell the house, build how are you going to finance? What's your idea of how you're going to finance the transition?
Yeah. So part of I guess I did forget to also include that we've already got the lot and it's paid for as well.
Oh, okay. So how much is that lot worth?
About $220,000.
Okay. So that's paid for. Good. I'm sorry I have to ask this because I think I always laugh at this. How much do you think you're going to spend to build your dream house, Barbie?
Yeah, that's been part of our problem in my head. I was going to sell our house, buy the lot, build the house the same as what we're selling.
Ha ha ha.
The reality is it'll be about double what we're
I don't know why that does not surprise me. Okay. So you need to spend $900 or $1 million bucks?
Yeah, give or take.
And so does that mean you're going to end up with a $1.2 million loan? Are you saying 900 and $1 million, including the lot?
No. So the lot's paid for, our house is paid for. So I'm going to sell our house. We're going to, if we have to move twice, we'll move twice.
Okay.
To make sure we can proceed with the transaction.
Okay. So you're not going to do that crazy, let's maintain both houses. So you're going to sell the house, get the money, throw it in an account. The new construction starts and it's going to be $1 million,
Correct.
right? Okay.
Yep.
So what is your idea? I mean, you're in the business, so are you thinking about it? Yeah, okay, I have 450. I'll put that 450 down. I'll get a construction loan for the rest. Like, what are you thinking about?
So my plan is to have the 450 accessible. That'll pay for the first half of the build, and
Yes.
then get have hopefully by then sell more houses and have about maybe another I'm gonna say $100,000 to throw in cash, and
Okay.
then finance the rest.
And what kind of financing are we talking about?
It would
My
be
dog is worried about the financing. I don't know if you can hear her in the background, but she's a little worried. So if you have 450 down and then let another 100, so you have 450 grand to finance. How? Tell me what you're looking at right now.
so it'd be a construction loan.
Yep.
Here at a local bank that I've already talked to two bankers
Great.
here in town.
Okay.
It won't be a problem.
What's the interest rate on that?
It'll end up being, depending on interest
Let's
rates.
say it's today.
Today it'd be about 8%.
Once you have that loan, is there a conversion into a 30-year fixed loan? Like what's the mechanism to make it move from a construction to a traditional mortgage?
So the way that they do the way they explained it to me was that it's an 11-month loan to build the home. And then if the home is done before that, then you can just convert it into a 30-year or 30-year mortgage or 15-year mortgage or whatever.
Great. Okay. Very good. Okay. Forgetting about the house for 1 second, which is hard to do. I now understand this. So, it'll be money and you'll borrow it and then you'll pay it back. But what about all the other money that you spend? What are your current expenses in this existing home? Like what's the cost of maintaining your life?
So our current expenses are about, I want to say 6,000, 6,400, somewhere in there.
Okay.
Depending on groceries, gas, travel, those kinds of things.
Okay. So when we have the new home, I presume it's bigger and the taxes are more, the insurance is more, and then you have this financing. So what is the expenses? What are the expenses going to be when you have this new house? Another 2,000, 2,500? What do you think?
So it's going to be somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000 a month.
Or let's say 3.
Yeah.
Because I'm just
good conservative number.
So let's even just say you're at 10 grand a month. Okay. You're all in. It's done. I hope it's not, but let's just pretend it's 10 grand a month is what your number is. Somewhere around 9 or 10 grand a month. Okay. So the good news is I know that's net, but you have your pension. She's still working and you have your real estate income. All of that is good. Let's just say that she were to retire in 5 years, like at age 57. What would her pension be approximately?
It'd be right around $5,000.
So you guys would both have, your pensions, which would really mostly cover, not everything, but mostly cover, but the extra income, even if you don't do 100 grand a year, even if you did 50 grand a year, the 2 pensions plus your real estate income should cover your expenses. Is that fair to say?
Easily, yes.
Okay, easily. Great. There's no need to invade the 403B, the brokerage, the high yield savings, or the Roth. You could just let it run. All those accounts can just keep growing. Ostensibly, if there were a problem, and I don't think there's going to be a problem, but just let's pretend there'll be a problem in a couple of years or something. You could start slowly draining some of the money out of the 403B. Not a lot, like maybe when your wife finishes working in 5 years, right? You're going to be 62 and you're like, oh, you know what? Cost of living, things have changed. We need to take a couple $1,000s a month out of the 403B. So do it. And you'll pay the tax that's due. And that'll be fine. I think that, honestly, if someone said to me, we have 100, let's just say you made together 130 or 40 grand a year together, and we're building $1 million house, I would have been like, whoa, but you have those pensions. And that's a real critical part of the equation. So I think that as long as this new construction is not 1.5 million, I think everything works pretty well. I just think you should really try to, like, when you think about the construction and the decisions you're going to make, and I know there's like 1,000 decisions to make about a new build, all in, you need to make sure that you end with an expense of 10 grand a month for your house and your family. And that's it. If you can do that, I think it works. I really do. Do you feel like it can work at that level?
Yeah, it's just hard, in my emotions because haven't had a mortgage in 15 years.
Get used to it, baby. You're going to live in your dream house, and that dream house doesn't come for free. Let's see where interest rates are. Because yes, you're going to get the construction loan. You'll start this process. It may be that when you're breaking ground, and I don't know when you have to sign documents for a construction loan, probably soon before you start building, or how far in advance do you have to have that?
Once we sign the contract, then we start the process of getting the construction loan once we sign the building contract, and we're going to do that in a few months.
Okay. It could be that by the time you sign and you're ready to rock and roll, you're not even looking at 8%. Maybe it'll be 7%. And maybe by the time you're done with that property, you'll be at 5 or 6%. We don't know. And I think that what I've tried to do is give you parameters to keep you guys on track, to not blow through all your assets, and to live in this great house. So I'm a dream maker, not a dream crusher today, Joe.
And you know what? If you keep working, thinking you're going to make 30 or hoping to make 30 or 40 grand and you're still making $100,000, you can take all that extra cash and just pay this thing off.
Exactly. I mean, if you're cranking like, hey, I am making this 100 grand a year and you have an 8% loan, Mark's right. You could take that money and just slap it down on that 8% loan. A lot of people are used to hearing me say, don't pay down the mortgage, but that's when you have like a 2% mortgage. An 8% mortgage, you should feel free to actually pay off. There's no problem with that. Risk-free. When I say pay it off, gang, and I say, it is literally like you're earning an 8% guaranteed return, which, is almost double what you would get in a safe treasury. So I think you should feel comfortable doing that. And do you think your wife might work? I feel like his wife's never going to retire. She's going to be like, I'm going to keep working because is she feeling okay about the numbers, or is she nervous too?
She's not as nervous as I am about the numbers because she wants to build the house she wants to build.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that's more the budget nerd and wants to keep it, under control, so to speak.
Without the pensions, I would be nervous. Those pensions change everything. I mean, that's the equivalent of, more than $3 million.
Yeah. I mean, and I think you're in really good shape. You really are. So,
you want to go, Jill? You want to go to Iowa? Barbecue?
What would I do in Iowa? Let me ask you something, Joe. Let's say I came to the beautiful housewarming party. Mark and I come. And so here's what you have. You get to introduce your friendly Auntie Jill, your friendly Jewish lesbian Auntie Jill from New York City into your town. What would I do there?
Well, we're about 45 minutes away from the Iowa State Fair, which is one of the most unique experiences in all of humanity.
Oh, my God.
So are you a Hawkeye or a Cyclone?
We are 100% Cyclones.
Oh, okay. What are Cyclones, Mark?
Iowa State.
Okay. And so I go to this. When is the State Farm? When is the State Fair?
State Fair is usually the second week in August.
It sounds hot then, but I just want to say
ridiculously hot.
Oh, okay. So already, how's the air conditioning in Iowa?
At the State Fair, not very good.
If I come to visit you in this new house, do I have a pool? What's happening?
No, there's no pool. It's just an amazing lot overlooking a nice wooded backyard overlooks a nice hill down to a pool or a pond. Excuse me.
Okay.
A pond.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a beautiful location, beautiful lot. Is really what sold us on it when it first got released.
I have no issues with building this beautiful house. If there's anything weird that's going on, that when you get ready to do it, get back in touch with us, because I think this really does work and it's exciting. And congratulations on transitioning your career. That's quite an off-ramp that you created. When did you know that you wanted to try out real estate?
Well, I've always enjoyed going to open houses and those kinds of things. And then as I got towards the end of my teaching career, I'm like, I can't just play golf 7 days a week. I'm too young and I would go crazy. So I needed a new challenge. And so I got licensed about 5 years ago, and then have been working part-time on the side, you know, in the summertime and whatnot. Didn't really work that hard because it's hard to do that.
Yeah.
Because real estate's a very unusual career path and in to be bivocational for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, you've done it. Congratulations. It's exciting. And, you know, Cyclone fan builds $1 million house. So congratulations and good luck. And let us know if everything goes afoot, and send us a picture from the groundbreaking. Okay. Well, I got to wait for a whole nother year, but let's do it. I'm excited. Mark, we're going to Iowa, baby. Hey, if you are interested in figuring out how to build your dream home, you, Barbie, the whole crew, then get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com, click the Contact Us button, write us a note. Let us know if you want to come on the air by checking the box. Mark will do everything else while you're there. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter, or just search for us on Substack, and you can subscribe to Jill on Money. Fabulous, wonderful. You can subscribe to us on the Odyssey app or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. We always ask that you do something nice for someone else today. Be nice to your realtor. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you tomorrow.